As we stand on the precipice of a new year, have you ever pondered about your emotional investment plan for the upcoming year? Yes, you heard it right. Emotional investment. It's a concept that's as significant as our financial plans, yet often overlooked. Just as we are meticulous about where we put our money, we ought to be just as intentional about where we place our emotions. Emotional investment, like the currency of the heart, is a valuable asset. While money may secure our material existence, it's our emotional investments that fortify the foundations of a rich and fulfilling life. A life steeped in authentic connections, understanding, compassion, and love. These are the dividends that emotional investments yield, enriching our soul and providing us satisfaction for the journey ahead. So what does it mean to make an emotional investment? It's about cultivating meaningful relationships, nurturing them with patience, and embracing the vulnerability that comes with opening our hearts. It's about practicing kindness, empathy, and understanding, not just to others, but also to ourselves. It's about striking a balance between our relationships with others and our relationship with ourselves. Just as a prudent financial investor diversifies their portfolio for a secure future, we must diversify our emotional bonds. Investing our time, effort, and heart in different relationships with family, friends, and our community can create a rich tapestry of emotional wealth. These emotional bonds, nurtured consistently, can withstand the tests of time and provide us with long-term growth and satisfaction. But remember, every investment carries a risk. With emotional investments, it's the risk of vulnerability, of emotional exposure. But it's a risk worth taking, for it's in embracing this vulnerability that we can forge profound connections and create a legacy of love that extends beyond our individual lifetimes. So, how will you invest your emotion in the new year? Will you diversify your bonds, nurture them for long-term growth, embrace the risks, and strive for a balanced emotional portfolio? Will you leave a legacy of love? Let's explore the principles of emotional investment. The first principle of emotional investment is the diversification of bonds. This concept, borrowed from the world of finance, is equally crucial in our emotional lives. Just like a savvy investor diversifies their financial portfolio to spread risk and increase potential returns, we too must spread our emotional investments across a spectrum of relationships. It's about forging bonds with a variety of people, family, friends, and community members. It's about investing time and energy in these relationships, nurturing them with care and attention. The essence of diversification lies in not placing all your emotional eggs in one basket. This way, you are not overly reliant on a single bond for emotional sustenance. The importance of cultivating these connections cannot be overstated. They provide us with a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, a sense of joy. Investing time and effort in building these relationships fortifies the foundations of a rich and meaningful life. The second principle of emotional investment is patience for long-term growth. Just like a sapling that needs time to grow into a robust tree, relationships too require consistent nurturing over time. Trust, understanding, and love are not commodities that can be bought or acquired instantly. They are the fruits of steady cultivation and patience. These are the cornerstones of any relationship, the building blocks that fortify our emotional bonds. Now, you may wonder, how does one nurture these bonds for long-term growth? The answer lies in personal development and being present during both joyous and challenging moments. This means investing in yourself, in your growth, your dreams, and your aspirations. It means standing by others in their moments of triumph as well as times of distress. It's about being a rock in the storm and a celebratory cheer in the sunshine. By investing in personal development and being present during both joyous and challenging moments, we can see long-term growth in our emotional investments. The third principle of emotional investment is understanding the balance of risk and reward. Every emotional investment we make comes with its own set of risks. It's like stepping into the unknown with our hearts wide open, ready to embrace whatever comes our way. It's about having the courage to express our feelings honestly, even when it means exposing our vulnerabilities. But why take such risks, you may ask? Well, the answer lies in the promise of reward. The reward is the profound connections we form, the authentic relationships we build, and the deep sense of fulfillment we experience. These are the treasures that make the risk worth taking. However, remember that this is not about reckless emotional expenditure, but about conscious investment. It's about understanding that while the path to profound connections may be paved with risks, the potential rewards at the end of this path are immense. The potential rewards of authentic connections outweigh the risks of emotional exposure. The fourth principle of emotional investment is compounding compassion. Much like the financial concept of compounding interest, where your wealth grows exponentially over time, compassion too, when practiced regularly and sincerely, compounds. It grows, it multiplies, it spreads. It's the small acts of kindness, the little moments of understanding, that contribute to this collective emotional wealth. Imagine, if you will, a world in which each act of compassion is a deposit in the bank of humanity. Each of these deposits, however small, adds up. It grows, it multiplies, and before we know it, we've created a wealth of compassion that's larger than any of us could have achieved alone. This is the power of compounding compassion. Every act of kindness, every moment of empathy, every time we reach out to understand someone else's perspective, we're making an investment. We're contributing to this collective wealth. Through compounding compassion, we can create a more compassionate world. The fifth principle of emotional investment is maintaining a balanced portfolio. Just as a financial investor diversifies their holdings, we must diversify our emotional investments. It's vital not just to pour all our emotional resources into one aspect of life, such as romantic relationships or friendships. While these connections are undeniably significant, it's equally important to invest in self-love and personal fulfillment. Imagine your life as a garden, each relationship a different plant. The garden thrives when all plants are nurtured, not just one. Similarly, a well-rounded emotional life requires attentiveness to all types of bonds, including the bond with oneself. Prioritizing self-care and personal passions ensures that our emotional garden remains vibrant and resilient, even during challenging seasons. In essence, maintaining a balanced emotional portfolio is about ensuring the well-being of our whole selves, not just parts. It's about recognizing that every aspect of our emotional life deserves attention and care. A harmonious balance ensures a resilient emotional foundation. The final principle of emotional investment is creating a legacy of love. This principle invites us to view our emotional contributions as more than mere transactions. It's about understanding that our positive emotional investments have a profound impact that extends far beyond our individual lifetimes. Our actions, our words, our kindness, and our love. These elements don't just evaporate into thin air. They ripple outwards, influencing the emotional landscape of those around us and even shaping the world for future generations. But what does it mean to leave a legacy of love? It's about mentoring others and sharing the wisdom we've gathered throughout our lives. It's about contributing positively to the emotional well-being of those around us. Not for our personal gain, but for the collective enrichment of our community. By doing so, we don't just leave a legacy of love, we live it. By mentoring others, sharing wisdom, and contributing positively to the emotional well-being of those around us, we can leave a legacy of love. As we reflect on these principles, we find a harmonious balance between emotional and financial investments. Just as the notes in a symphony, each with its unique tone and timbre, contribute to the beauty of the whole, so do our emotional and financial investments interplay to create the masterpiece of our lives. Consider for a moment the concept of diversification, a principle common to both financial and emotional investments. Financially, we spread our resources across a variety of assets to mitigate risks and enhance potential rewards. Emotionally, we diversify our bonds, spreading our love and care across family, friends, and community. This diversification enriches our lives, providing us with a network of support and a sense of belonging. Similarly, the principle of long-term growth applies equally to our emotional and financial life. Financially, we understand that it is the steady, consistent investments made over time that yield the greatest returns. Emotionally, nurturing our relationships consistently allows trust, understanding, and love to mature over time. Risk and reward, another shared principle, is inherent in both domains. Financially, we know that higher potential returns often come with higher risks. Emotionally, the deepest and most rewarding connections often require us to embrace vulnerability and risk emotional exposure. Compounding, too, finds its place in both arenas. In finance, we marvel at the magic of compounding interest. Emotionally, the compounding of compassion and empathy creates a more compassionate world, contributing to a collective emotional wealth. Just as we strive for a balanced financial portfolio, we must also seek a balanced emotional portfolio, investing in self-love, personal fulfillment, and relationships. And just as we aim to leave a financial legacy, our emotional investments can create a legacy of love, contributing positively to the emotional well-being of those around us and shaping the emotional landscape for future generations. As we usher in the new year, remember to invest wisely, not just financially, but emotionally, for a rich and fulfilling life.